This is a first in a series of tutorials for Lead Finder Jack, starting with the search engines. And there is an overview video that might be useful for you to watch first to give you an idea of the flow of the process. By default is United States, and you can click the drop down arrow and select from any country around the world. And then you're going to click on Create New Campaign. You start off by selecting the state and then click Next and select the city. And if this is your first time using a particular state, it will take a minute or two to load all the cities depending on the size of the state and the number of cities per state. I think this showed more than 3,300 cities for Illinois. Okay, cities are all loaded. There are 3,377 cities in the state of Illinois, or at least listed in Lead Finder Jack. Now, you can pick specific cities if you know their name, or you can just start typing the name of a city, okay, and choose whichever ones you want that fit that. Trying to think of why I would use this, but say I wanted all cities with Ville in it. Well, that's probably not a good idea for Illinois because there are 277 cities with Ville in the name. So you play around with what you want, and we'll just kind of check off a few of them. Chittyville, that's sort of an interesting name. And then if you think you might want to use these cities again for another search, you can give them a name. You click on My Cities List, and then when this comes up, you're going to save selected. So this is, so I want to make sure that that's what it's listed as. And then next, select your niche. So there are 355 niches available. Just use the keywords that you have and go through and select the various niches and use the ones that make the best sense to you. Okay, so just kind of play around with what you're looking for. So I have selected 7 niches. I can save these, save selected, okay, and then next, get companies. So this may take a while, so I'm going to pause the video and come back in a bit. So it actually only took about 12-15 minutes to locate 209 companies in 7 cities and 7 niches in World Search. And I stopped Dig Deep because it is the search settings are set on Lead Finder Jack reviews, and I'm not particularly interested in reviews. I think I'm going to change this to mobile and unclaimed. So this is going to check if the company is marked as unclaimed in its Google Plus or Yellow Page sites, and click OK. We need to give it a custom name. So now I can go ahead and click on Dig Deep, and this could take considerably longer than 12 minutes, so we're going to pause the video again and wait until this is complete. When Lead Finder Jack is working on one thing, you need to let it complete the process before you go on to something else. Okay, if you had to stop a search for some reason, or if your computer crashed or whatever, and you're in the middle of a search or in the middle of Dig Deep, you simply go back to the search engine that you were working with. If it stopped in the middle of a search, so you click on Load and then you select the search that you were working with, or if you want to work on a different one, you select that one. Then if it quit before the end of the search, you would click on Resume. If you ran it at the middle of the night and you want to see if it would be any different if you ran it in the daytime, you could click on Restart, or click on Dig Deep if you stopped it in the middle of Dig Deep, and that's what I had done. So I'm going to click on Dig Deep, and it will go back to it'll take a minute or so to get revved up again, but it should resume roughly where it left off. Okay, so you see Dig Deep has resumed and come to about where it was before. So I'm going to stop Dig Deep simply because I want to continue on with the tutorial. There are tutorials that go into the rest of this in great detail. I just want to show you the flow of the process for any of the search engines. So next we would go to email, and you would click on templates and go to the library if you don't have the templates that you want to work with, and you click on a template and modify it. So if you need to do any editing, you go ahead and do that in here and save the email. Then you would send a test email just to make sure that the editing is all as it should be. You can create your own email messages if you want. It starts off with a fairly basic email, and you would give it a name and a subject and save it. Okay, there are, as I said, there are detailed tutorials on setting up email and testing, etc. And once you've got your email set up, you then go to campaigns, and the campaign that loads is the one that you just ran. So here is the campaign that was just run, and it has all sorts of details in it. If you click on columns, the first button at the top of the right side, you can come down these lists and decide which of the criteria you want to keep in your campaign. Okay, so here's all the criteria that we have to work with, and you can set whatever you want. The email that is highlighted in yellow cannot be used. The email that went to these addresses usually ended up in spam, and that's not good for anyone. So you can go through and select the criteria that you want, and there is a tutorial that goes into greater detail about campaigns. Say we've selected everything we want, and we're going to select the email, and we'll come over to the email button here and select the email that we want to connect with this campaign and click OK, and we'll send a test email. Okay, so currently email sending has been suspended. Send email tracking or demo URL not set. Okay, lift. So if you get that message that your email sending has been suspended, you click on email and then over to just beneath Home Advisor, click on dashboard and lift suspension. Oh, I used the wrong. Okay, so let me go back to campaigns and email, Maps Hero, remove that. There, companies with poor website, click OK. You're about to remove email. Yep. All right. Cancel email, dashboard, lift suspension, remove all pending email. So remove all pending email. Yes, I want to remove it. Then we will lift suspension, go back to campaign, go back to email, and we're going to remove Maps Hero and just select a different email, move it over to the email to be sent column and click OK, and then test email. Test email has been sent. So we can go and check. Okay, the email was received. I believe that it shows up as spam here because it's being sent to my Gmail email address from my web email address, and they're both the same. So I'm guessing that's why it's showing up as spam. But anyway, so you see that there are still things that weren't edited. So this will give you the opportunity to check out the email that you've sent and see what you need to fix. And once it's fixed, you can go ahead and start your campaign. So that's just a really quick and simple part showing you what the process is. If you need more details, there are more detailed tutorials for email and campaigns. And that wraps up this tutorial.